So, I watched Popstar Academy, the documentary that is all about how HYBE and Geffan got together and debuted their first global girl group, KATSEYE. But after watching 8 episodes of the entire documentary from start to finish, I just had one question. Why? What was the intention behind this documentary? Because normally with a documentary like this, you want to promote your girl group and help them reach new levels of success and popularity that they have never reached before and gain new fans. But I feel like what this documentary has done is garner a lot of negative attention and controversy for KATSEYE. And one of the prizes, you could say, for, being a member of KATSEYE is that you get your own Netflix documentary basically talking about your entire journey. But instead of feeling like a prize, this felt more like a slap on the face to all the girls who basically talked their truth or were being brutally honest in the documentary. So, yeah. And when at first I thought this was just going to be an hour and a half long movie, like the Blackpink documentary, which I also watched on Netflix like ages ago. So I thought it was going to be just that. But the fact that it's 8 episodes and each episode is like 40 to 55 minutes long, I was like, listen, like really 8 episodes? The best I can do is a nap after I have a heavy lunch. So let me give you a crash course on on all the drama that's been surrounding this documentary with KATSEYE and how the 2 main KATSEYE members that are getting a lot of heat are Sophia and Laura, especially Sophia, to the point even people who don't stand KATSEYE are like, partaking in this. Okay, before we talk about the main drama, let's talk about some mini drama, just like an appetizer, to prep you for the main course and maybe the dessert afterwards. The first 2 episodes, it was like very sluggish. I really was bored. Like, I think I had to watch it at 1.5 times speed. Like, I think it was basically background music for me, background noise for me. Like, I just really didn't vibe with it. Like, the entire process was just, like, if you're a K-pop fan, you know how this all works. Like, none of this is new to me. If you've watched survival programs, I feel like all of this is just, yeah, I've seen it. Now it's just applied to a global girl group sense. So for me, none of this was shocking. And I know that when Dream Academy was airing, a lot of people wanted more content for KATSEYE. And I feel like instead of airing these episodes, then they decided to do it on Netflix because it's a much better, more accessible platform. So, and I don't know if doing this after the girls have debuted is a good idea. And I feel like when things got interesting was when at the beginning of, I think one of the episodes, they were like, the mentors, they got really mad at the girls for something. And then they were like teasing it at the beginning of what this could be. And the drama is that the girls apparently had private Instagram accounts. One of the girls posted the song and basically like leaked a song that was supposed to be a secret, that was supposed to build up hype. So other than the 20 girls that we are familiar with, Dream Academy and or KATSEYE, there were some other girls that were introduced. One of the characters of contention in this was a girl named Naisha. And they basically made her take the entire fall for everything, and they kicked her out because, she posted the song and which completely violated her NDA and whatever. And I do think there needs to be consequences for your action. I mean, if it states in the contract that, yeah, if you do this, then you're out. I'm sorry. But I just don't understand why it was Naisha, the only one who got such severe consequences for our action when all the other girls still got to be in the competition. Like, of course, I get it, they cannot kick out every single girl, but it's interesting how they kicked her the most because they were like, oh, you're the one with the most Instagram followers, so that's why people knew that you were going to be in Dream Academy. And then Aisha was like, no, that is not true. I don't have the most followers, or I didn't gain the most followers. So, obviously. Anyways, one of the reasons I was excited for Popstar Academy was to see more of Azrella. But honestly, Azrella in this documentary is basically the Sakura Produce 48 meme. This one. And, yeah, and I feel like after the whole Instagram, song leaking fiasco, that is when things started shifting. Like, that was like arc 1, and then we move on to arc 2, which is basically like everything to do with none other than our it girl and savior Manon. So let's talk about it. So if you've watched Dream Academy, or if you haven't, I'll fill you in. But during the airing of the show, Manon was unfortunately not able to practice as much as the other girls because she kept on getting sick. And not only that, she missed rehearsals and I think the mentors also mentioned that in like her evaluation after like the Happier Than Ever performance. Manon ended up ranking really, really high. I think she was in the top 5, and a lot of people liked her. Like, she had a solid fandom behind her because, you know, she's just charismatic and really, really beautiful. And I don't think it's just her beauty that's making people like her. I think it's also because she's like charismatic on stage. Like, she has like the star quality to her, and I actually really like her voice. Like, if you watch my first video on Dream Academy, you'll see that I praised Manon despite the fact that other people did not really particularly think so. So, yeah. Like, I've been a real one. I can just say that. But I feel like, and then after that, what happened is that the next week, during the second eliminations, they had to spice things up, and they had to basically make the girls choose which girls they want in the final lineup and which girls they don't want in the final lineup, or which girls they think deserve to be eliminated. And I think 14 people, an overwhelming 14 out of 20 girls voted for Manon. So obviously this had people mad on the internet, and actually kind of defended the other girls, saying like, okay, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We cannot just say they're doing this because they hate Manon. And I said that it's because maybe they're not as close to Manon. However, I feel like after this documentary aired, we learned more about the girls and their, you know, strained relationship with Manon, their complicated relationship with Manon, and it's messy. It's messy as hell, not gonna lie. It really is. Girls that were like absolutely beloved before this documentary are getting absolutely dogpiled right now. So one of the clips that is absolutely going viral on Twitter is one of the contestants, Adela, complaining about Manon. So yeah, here's the clip. Hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. Just, you know, like, I'm playing it. Yeah.
The Americans experience what like the Slovak would experience all the time. Like, we don't ever get represented, ever. And even the people that are like Manon, she's getting so much attention. You know, people are upset because she doesn't put a lot of effort and she doesn't show up for her teams a lot. And so people are upset that she is the person who's getting so much attention. It's not based on anything right now. It's just because she's pretty.
People that are so clearly passionate about this, but then there's some people like Manon. Yeah. She doesn't show up to rehearsals.
Even when I was there, she wasn't showing up.
No, she never does. And it's like she breaks the rules and she doesn't get penalized for it. Like, now it's being completely ignored, and it's like, it's surprising because we naively thought something else.
So yeah, I have feelings about this. Listen, Adela is obviously super talented, and I get being frustrated that you didn't get picked and you're not in it. Like, I get it. Like, Adela has been in this competition for 2 years now, like longer than Manon, and Manon got scouted like much later on. And I get it, like, to you, it might not seem that she works the hardest or anything like that. And she gets the results because she's good at it, even though she's, like, of a lower skill set. When Adele got eliminated, a lot of people on the internet were, like, upset, like, visibly upset that, you know, she got eliminated because she's so freaking talented. And I have been in Adela's shoes more than usual. Like, I feel like I put in a lot of hard work and effort, and I just never get the results. And I feel like someone else who did not put in as much as effort as me thrived or shined instead. Like, I totally get Adela's frustration, but I don't know what the hell she was thinking, like dragging Manon when the cameras were on. Like, I get feeling bitter, but to say it out loud to all of the girls and basically talk bad about her, I don't think that's particularly right as well. Like, I don't think I'm a holier than thou person. I obviously do not. You know, it was kind of weird, just, you know, like the way she was like ranting to the other girls about how pretty Manon is, and the fact that, you know, like, she has it easier than them, which, like, the tone deafness is just really, really getting to me. Like, a white girl really just sat her ass down and said that the black girl has easier than her. Oh my god. No, absolutely not. And I think that this is the reason why a lot of people are very protective of Manon, because she is a black girl in a pop girl group, and if history dictates it, black girls and pop girl groups never get like good treatment. Like, from my knowledge, I know that in the Spice Girls, the only black girl in the Spice Girls was dubbed as Scary Spice. So yeah, there are layers to why that is so wrong. And it's just interesting that, you know, like, Adela getting so heated up over Manon. Like, maybe you don't think Manon is as deserving as the other girls, but it's the way she like expressed herself that I was like, I don't know about this girl. I really don't know about this. And then another girl that also caught on fire on the internet, speaking how she feels, is Sophia. Now, I'm kind of torn about how I feel about this. On one hand, I understand Sophia's frustration. Sophia has been like working really, really, really hard, and she's the type of person who shows up to practice, shows up to a performance, even though she needs to go to the ER and like she's like really, really sick. So I get it. But the thing that rubbed me the wrong way about Sophia, and obviously like, is the fact that Manon confided in Sophia, and then Sophia goes and tells this to the other girls and basically rants about Manon. Like, that is the thing that I'm just like, I don't know about that. And of course, Laura is also getting some heat because she also said that she doesn't think Manon deserves to be in the top 5, and that, you know, she's not, she doesn't like that or whatever, and that she's not deserving. Now, honestly, I think the girls are valid in feeling who is deserving and who is not deserving to be in the show. However, I feel like the problem is the way they just expressed it in front of the camera. Like, I don't know what compelled them to do that. I genuinely don't. Like, maybe were they told by it? Is this how they were actually feeling? But yeah, I hate to say it, but you know, like, actions are gonna have consequences, and I feel like Laura and Sophia shouldn't be, you know, dubbed as haters of Manon because of this. Because this was a time when they weren't even friends, when they were just competitors. So I don't know how you expect them to be friends altogether. Like, if it's one thing if they were saying stuff like this after they had debuted, after, you know, they were in a girl group, after they had worked together, like a Fifth Harmony situation. Like, I get that. But the fact that they didn't know each other, I think that's the thing that I'm just kind of like, it's more understandable. Like, do I excuse how they treated Manon? Absolutely not. But it's more understandable. But I think the person that pissed me off the most, honestly, was Adela. Like, she could not keep her name out of Manon. Like, even I was just like, if this is evil editing, then holy crap, consider me fooled. Consider me fooled. Because you cannot stop talking about Manon. I feel like every scene in this documentary has just Adela talking crap about Manon. Which I'm like, let's not talk crap about one of your sisters. Like, it's not good. It's not looking good. But yeah, I also don't think the solution is this to go and harass Adela. Like, I went to her Instagram and it's obviously filled with a lot of hate comments and everything. And of course, Sophia and Laura are also getting hate comments. And I feel really, I really don't think that getting hate comments and microaggressions towards like Sophia and Laura is like justified in any sort of ways. Like, I saw a comment of someone saying Laura that Manon is beautiful and you look like a man. Like, come on now. Let's not do that. And I think the reason why people have such a reaction to Manon and are very protective of Manon is because she is a black girl and she is thriving and she is doing so well, and yet people are trying to tear her apart. And these people are supposed to uplift her. Like, these are supposed to be her friends. And the fact that, you know, they didn't treat her, like, the fact that all the girls were so close to one another and they just excluded Manon, I think that is the thing that it's just very, you know, like, it's very heartbreaking. Like, I genuinely feel bad for Manon. I feel like I have been the Manon in a friend group, or like in just a group, or like in a class or anything like that. Like, I feel like I have been in Manon's shoes. Like, was I the prettiest? Probably not. But you know what? It's like people will try to tear you down when they feel a bit insecure, not gonna lie. But here's the thing, like, even if I don't think the way Adela, Sophia, Laura, or any of the other girls, how they treated Manon was right. Obviously, that was not right. But I also don't think what's right is broadcasting that for the entire world to see, because I don't think that's fair. Because I feel like we have all acted like Adela, Laura, Sophia, some way, shape, or form in the real world. I feel like we've all acted like that. Maybe we've acted like that like literally yesterday, and maybe in 2-3 days we're like, oh no, why did I act like that? That was so bad. Maybe I've acted like that in the past. Someone has probably acted like that to me like a couple of years back, and they came back and later apologized to me for that, because they were like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I was like so stupid and silly. Like, I was immature. What I'm trying to say is that what's the point? What's the point of HYBE posting all of this? Like for 5 episodes straight, for 4 episodes straight, they just basically talked about Manon and how all the girls did not like her, and it was Manon's job to hold herself accountable so that the girls like her. Like, I feel like this documentary did more harm than good. HYBE and Geffan like severely underestimated how, you know, protective fans are of their idols, and KATSEYE is being treated like a K-pop group, so something like this will definitely cause controversy. Like, it definitely. I mean, listen, you had this same kind of drama in 16. Like, the Twice members probably did not like each other. Like, the other day, there was a clip going viral of Chewie dissing the other girls. And I swear, like, if they made a Twice documentary after Twice debuted, oh my god, Chewie would be getting dragged left and right. And also the Monster X Survival show. Like, Joohan and Minhyuk literally said, hey, we don't like IM. We hate him. We don't want him. We don't want to debut with him. So, yeah, and I think the reason why they survived that backlash is because all of that happened before they debuted, but I feel like the fact that it's happening after they debut, and also with the added fact that Manon is a person of color that, you know, is thriving and other people are jealous of her because of that, that is another thing why people are just really upset about. Overall, what I wanted to say about this issue, my opinions on this situation is that it's a very complicated situation, and it's a very human situation. Manon should not have been treated that way. Yes, obviously. She should not have been isolated by those girls. She should not have been treated like that by those girls. Because I don't think Manon did anything particularly wrong. I honestly don't think Manon did anything wrong. Honestly, I feel like if anything, she was just doing her best. She was trying to keep up with the stress and everything despite her health deteriorating. And yet, you know, like, the other girls were taking it out on her. So I feel bad for Manon. I definitely do. But I feel like airing this messiness definitely was not a good idea for HYBE or Geffan. It definitely wasn't. Like, now Laura and Sophia are getting so much hate and backlash for something they did a year ago, something that they have likely patched up with Manon. Maybe, hopefully. And I know that there are some girls who did not make it into the lineup who are likely jealous of Manon, and that I understand. And that's understandable. Like, honestly, like, if you lost out to the 5th gen it girl, then I'd be mad too, obviously. Constantly, I think the problem is that, you know, constantly talking bad about someone is such loser behavior, and that does not make me appreciate you. And then you have someone like Manon who doesn't say anything bad about anyone and is just so sweet and humble. And that's the reason why people love her. So, yeah. Other than that, I think the only other thing in Popstar Academy, I feel like Popstar Academy was lacking in a lot of ways. I feel like they didn't dive into the actual controversies that I really wanted to talk about. Like, they didn't address the whole Samara issue and her liking anti-Indian and pro-Israel stuff. Obviously, they're not going to address the pro-Israel stuff because HYBE is done. It's a bit weird to talk about that. But yeah, they didn't address the Samara controversy. Like, it was so funny. Like, people were, Samara was like, oh, they hate me because they don't know me and they don't know the real me. When the hate comments that the editors put was all about Samara being weird and Samara liking, you know, controversial, like really messed up posts. So that's interesting. Yeah, I think what we can learn from Popstar Academy is that do not air your survival show after the group has debuted, especially if you're gonna feature the messy parts with the girls that are in the lineup. It's one thing if they only have their segments with Naisha and Adela, but to air out Sophia, Laura, like that was just nasty work. Like, that was like literally just shooting yourself in the foot. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand. But yeah, that is how I feel about Popstar Academy. Sending lots of love to the KATSEYE girls. Like, they need it right now, obviously. Like, imagine sitting down, getting together to watch this documentary, and then Manon is like, damn, I forgot about, yeah. And then Sophia and Laura are like, oh shit, yeah, we were like that with Manon. Oops. And then Manon's like, crap, I really did have it hard, didn't I? Huh. The Sabrina Carpenter album is coming out in like an hour or so, and I'm gonna go listen to it. Okay, bye. My voice is lost.